what I'm going to teach her today is how to move her hip over, so I can get to the point where I just take a stick or a whip or something and just suggest at that other hip, and she'll move it towards me. And this is going to help when her owner takes her to bring her up to the mounting block to get on. All she'll have to do is step up onto the mounting block and just kind of suggest her hand up over her hip here, or tap her right here, and she'll step closer to the mounting block. So I'll show you how I do that. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the stick more than using my body language, because when I'm on the mounting block, I'm not going to have a lot of body language to use. It's going to be more of a cue that comes from my hand or from the stick. So I'll show you how I go about doing it. So what I'm trying to get her to do is to step her hip over, but not necessarily walk forward. So she's walking forward a little bit now. She thinks I'm asking her to go somewhere, which I kind of am, but I'm really just asking for her hip to be moved over for me. So she's learning, she's coming along. Let's see how she does on this side, because she's already doing quite well on that side. So I'll kind of trick her up a little bit and test her. I'm going to reach across and tap that hip exactly where I was tapping it earlier. And if you've got a taller horse, you may need a longer whip, but just going to kind of hold her head here so she doesn't just walk off. No. So you can see how this is very confusing to her, being that I'm on this side, but I'm tapping her on that side. I'm kind of using the fence to my advantage here. Nope, I don't. There's a good girl. There, she stepped over a little bit. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. And I'm not tapping her very hard. I'm just tapping her enough to be a little bit annoying and get her thinking about it. If I can tell that she's thinking about it, I won't tap any harder. But if she just kind of goes numb on me, I might tap a little bit harder. So you'll have to kind of read your horse. There's a good girl. There, she's starting to get it. Good job. Good girl. I'll rub her a little bit. That's a good girl. Good. So when you're teaching this, you've got to have a very good foundation groundwork already laid so that your horse understands respect, because you are asking them to move into you at this point. So you want to make sure that your horse isn't pushy or anything to begin with. You want to make sure that you've done everything else in your groundwork to make sure that your horse understands that this is just a maneuver that you're trying to teach them and that it's still not okay for you to just push me around. So, good girl. So she's stepping into me, she's bumping into me a little bit, but she's moving her hip over, which is what I'm asking for, because when I'm up on the mounting block, I want to get to the point where I can just ask her to come over, step a little closer here, with your hip. Nope, not forward. Step a little closer with your hip. Nope. And she's getting there. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit less shoulder movement from her, but she's getting the idea pretty easily. Good, that was really good. That was a good girl.